and welcome to the Bike Show once again. Later in the programme, we'll be looking at some great events that are coming up. We'll be reviewing a couple of products, and we'll also, I like this bit.
You do?
We'll be giving away a helmet in our latest competition.
But before all that, these three lovely bikes, they're Scramblers, they are all the craze at the moment. But in a way, they are bikes that are not.
Well,
Scramblers, no.
Yeah, here in South Africa, we get it wrong. We think Scrambler, we still use the word Scrambler to mean off-road. And in Europe, they haven't done that since the 60s when, well, off-road didn't properly exist.
Exactly. So a Scrambler, if you wanted an off-road bike in the olden days, well, when we were kids, really.
That is the olden days.
What you did was you took your road model and maybe you lobbed on some off-road tyres, maybe hacked at the mudguard a bit, but basically it was a road bike that was styled up to look like an off-road bike, and that's what these bikes are. They're not meant to go off-road. Yes, they might have some styling cues, a bit of knobbly tyres, but no, they're just really cool naked road bikes for people like me and you who like to talk about pub bikes outside the pub.
And hipsters.
And hipsters. So, we've got the ideal demographic. I suggest we go for a ride, gentlemen, and end up at the pub. That sounds like a proper road test plan to me.
Can we just go straight to the pub?
Don't get ahead of yourself
right.
again.
OK.
First, we have to earn our cold beers by riding the three major contenders in the new Scrambler class. All three are European, with a BMW R9T Scrambler, Ducati Scrambler Flat Tracker and Triumph Street Scrambler for us to ride before the amber nectar can flow. These bikes may be about style over substance, really, but they've all got to have good meat and potatoes, you know what I mean? They need a decent engine. And the eagle-eyed among you may have noticed that they are all, in fact, twins, two-cylinder motorbikes, and they're all different layouts. So, at the top, most capacity, 1170cc opposing twin, a boxer twin in the BMW. In the middle we have the Triumph, which is a parallel twin at about 900 cc's, and then we've got this, the 800cc Ducati, which is a V-twin. And cue all the hate mail that we get on our YouTube channel, because apparently this is not a V-twin. Ducati fans will tell me it's an L-twin, and we're ignorant for saying it's a V-twin. Well, an L is just a 90-degree V. So whatever the Ducati guys say, this is still a V-twin, a 90-degree V-twin. BMW's got it at the top, most capacity, 110 horsepower. We've got the Ducati in the middle, about 75 horsepower, and the Triumph with the parallel twin, about 55, which sounds pretty damn anemic, doesn't it? But the joy is that the Triumph is incredibly smooth, it has more torque even than this Ducati, and it makes relaxing progress. It's just a gentleman's bike, it's a lovely engine. The V-twin in this, yeah, a little bit more power, slightly, what's the word, gutsier, more characterful, and a more instant hit on the right wrist. And then, of course, you got the BMW with its boxer engine, which is a boxer engine. I mean, it's still the old air and oil-cooled one. It's got a lot of torque, it's got plenty of power, and it makes the traditional boxer drone. It's a lovely engine, but you already know it well. Like I said, style over substance is largely what these bikes are about. But really, the substance is there, at least in terms of engines. They're all twins, they're all good, but at the same time, they're all very different.
The difference in the engines is actually mirrored by the riding experience you get from each bike. The BMW, the riding positions, well, you're kind of leaning forward. There's not a lot of space to stand up if you're on dirt, not that you want to be. The Triumph and the Ducati feel very similar, really narrow and small, with a much more upright riding position. There's detail differences as well. Twin front discs on wire wheels on the BMW, single front disc on wire wheels on the Triumph, single front disc on cast alloy wheels on the Ducati, high exhaust on the BMW and the Triumph, low exhaust on the Ducati. And just the feel of them. I mean, the BMW is the heaviest, beating the Triumph by a few kilograms, and the Ducati is way the lightest. And despite the BMW having the most power of the three, it's the Ducati that feels the most sporty, the most eager. The Triumph does lag behind on the power stakes, but it's such an amazingly smooth engine that it really feels very sophisticated. In terms of quality, well, there's not really a lot to choose between either of them. I would say perhaps that the Triumph's got the edge on overall quality, the BMW a close second, and the Ducati languishing a little in third. All three make do with a single clock in front of the rider, and the BMW, has to say, loses out because it doesn't have a gear position indicator, which is all very well and good, but if you are going to go off-road on one of these, then it does help to know what gear you're in. You see what that is?
That's some dirt.
Look, we've actually just set this up and we've said these are rubbish off-road.
Yeah, but the pioneers in the 60s used to ride these sort of things off-road, so...
So really, in the interest of fair journalism, we should actually try them off-road.
We should, yeah, definitely.
What do you think, Matt? Oi!
Oh, bloody hell.
You know what?
Democracy can be cruel, and so it is that Don once again takes his life in his hands and does the hard miles for the bike show team.
The BMW might have the best engine. It's got a fantastic engine, but that's sort of it. It's the biggest, it's the heaviest, suspension doesn't properly work, and the seating position is not really conducive to off-road standing. If you want a BMW to go off-road in this price range, I've got 3 words for you: F, 800 and GS. This Ducati is tiny. It's also by far the lightest, so especially when the going gets tricky, this is the one you want to be on. The only problem is that I don't know if you can hear it in my voice, it's a bit, well, let's just say the suspension's not really doing much. These tires do work though. Alright, off-road of the 3, this Triumph is the one you want to be on, really. It's the most comfortable, it's got the best working suspension, it's actually working surprisingly well. And that motor makes the least horsepower, but it's just so tractable. I mean, any revs, anywhere, open the throttle and you go forward. Even with these tires, I mean, they're off-roady, but not filled knobblies. And with this motor, it just seems to grip.
Don's exhaustive research over, it's time to head to our favourite spot for a post-ride sundowner, Rim and Rubber, which is now even more handily situated in 4 ways.